I can confirm that for now, Ejura is calm. There's peace. Ejura is calm.
What actually transpired here?
On the 11th, that's Saturday, I was in Accra. In the morning, around 6:30 to 7, I got a call from the municipal crime officer that a suspect died in their custody, and the youth of Ejura are on a rampage, and they need to be talked to. Otherwise, they can set the station ablaze. So I reached out to some opinion leaders and assembly members in town who were also at the scene, and what they told me was that, in fact, the information they picked was that the boy went to report himself to the police as a result of a theft case. Somebody reported that his phone was stolen and the phone was found with the deceased. So the police invited the deceased. He rode on his own motorbike to the police station, gave his statement, and then the police detained him. So whilst in detention, he complained of abdominal pains and started vomiting. That's the story the police gave me. That then the police took him to hospital where he passed on. And when he passed on, they carried the dead body to Mampong to send to the morgue. And so in the early hours of Saturday, the youth of the area got word that their colleague had died in police custody as a result of police brutality. And this angered the youth and they besieged the police station. So I called a number of them, pleaded with them, called the assemblyman for the area, pleaded with them. And then the way the calls were coming, I reached out to the divisional commander to tell him that they should, as a matter of agency, call for reinforcement because it's like the numbers are overwhelming and the police presence there could not contain the crowd. So they should call for reinforcement. I reached out to the regional, Ashanti North regional police commander to ensure that at least they send reinforcement, knowing very well that Ashanti Mampon and Ejura is not very far a distance because you could use even 30 minutes to get to Ejura. So I expected that they would beef up the numbers. I also reached out to the military, the commander of the military detachment here, to ensure that at least they give assistance to the police to ensure that at least life and property are protected. But in the process, I heard that they had set the police station ablaze, and the few cars, immovable cars, those which were destroyed, were faulty and were there, also were set ablaze. So in the course of it, then the crime officer called me again that I should call the assemblyman that they are bringing back the cops from Mampong and that they should meet them at the barrier to take the cops. I said, in this chaotic situation, you are bringing the cops. Don't you know you are going to escalate the situation? So I impressed on them not to release the cop at this time, not knowing that they had already carried the cops and they were already in Ejura town with the cops. Then I called the regional commander. I gave him the same advice that it's not advisable to release the cops at this time because when tensions are very, very high. And then called the divisional commander, the same thing. But because I could say, Jack, they had released the cops to the family. So I called back the crime officer and asked him whether he has conducted autopsy on the body before releasing it. And he said no. I said, then it means that the narration in town is true, that the guy died as a result of your brutality. He said, no, that's not an issue. But why can you release a dead body, which is under controversy, such as this, to the family without examining the body by a proper medical practitioner to ascertain the cause of death? And so I am imploring on him, I'm calling him as a member of parliament to ensure that the proper thing is done. There should be an autopsy on the body for us to ascertain the cause of death. Otherwise, we cannot, contain the situation as it pertains. So he called he wasn't trying to agree with me. But later he called me, said, "So now what can you do? Can we retrieve the body?" I said, "No, I've already given instructions to the family that they should take the body to the hospital." So I was on the phone with the assemblyman and the medical superintendent when the crime officer called. So I just merged the call and we had a conference call. And then well, the medical was even, he wasn't happy because he said even when the deceased passed on at the hospital, they did not wait for him to come to ascertain whether the boy had died or not. And they hurriedly took the corpse away. And so he wasn't even aggressive. So I pleaded with him, no, he should let them bring the corpse so that at least he should make his theater available. So we arranged a pathologist from Kumasi to come and perform the autopsy so we can ascertain the cause of death. All this while I was in Accra. So when we did the arrangement and the corpse was sent to the hospital, I also set off to come to Ejura. I go to Ejura in the evening. And then when the autopsy had been conducted, had been concluded, but how I met the pathologists. They were there, they had just cleaned the body. So he came out, and the family were there, the police were there, and he briefed us about as to the outcome of the examination that they did. And from what the pathologists told us, that the deceased had an underlying condition of peptic ulcer and some typhoid. He believes that might have caused the death, and that because of the vomiting, and he used some medical term. I'm not a medical practitioner, which I cannot mention, but finally ended up that the death was a natural death because she's inspected the body. There are no physical bruises on the body, and there are no anything. So I also went in to look at the body, and well, I didn't see any physical bruises. The pathologist went on further to point out that to ascertain as to whether actually he was assaulted, she even cut open the head to see if there was some blood loss, and there was no blood loss. So she said she's 100% certain that it was due to it was a natural death that occurred. So I had to come out to explain to the family and to plead with them that we are Muslims, and we Muslims, we believe that whatever happens to you is something that has been predestined by Allah. And so we should accept it as it is, and then plead with them to exercise restraint and allow due process to take place. So yesterday, the body has been buried. We've buried the body, and the adwa has been made. But there are still unresolved issues. I'm saying this because if you look at the way and manner the issue went on, coming from what has happened 4 years ago with respect to the death of Kaka, which resulted in a similar incident in which we lost 2 other lives in addition to Kaka, and having up to now nobody can tell us who were the perpetrators of that heinous task or act of killing Kaka. It's something that is very worrisome. Here is, in this case, this Miss Bao boy, he died in your custody. The first thing the police should have done is, we want to find out why is it that they did not look for the parents or the relatives of the deceased Miss Bao before carrying the body to Mampo. Why were they in a hurry to carry the body to Mampo? And then, two, when it happened, I believe that since the deceased, he voluntarily, I can say voluntarily because he wasn't physically arrested, you invited him, he came in the night, and why couldn't he have given him bail or self-cognizance bail since he came with a property like a motorbike? They could have even, what is a phone? They could have even taken the motorbike and tell him to go and come back the following morning. And why did it take them so long since he started complaining about abdominal pains and started vomiting for them to take him to the hospital around 03 hours? These are issues that they need to resolve. And this issue, they sense danger that the station could have been bent. The time that they use in conveying the inmates from the police station, the cells here, to the divisional headquarters, they could have called for reinforcement. So if you had it means that the fact that they collected, I mean, they were able to collect the inmates from the cells to a different location means that they knew the danger ahead that the building could be set ablaze. Why didn't they take proactive measures by ensuring that reinforcement was done? Yeah, Mampo, how many is it? How many minutes is it? And so we are calling on the IGP that to me, looking at the factors that led to the raising down of this building, I put the whole blame at the doorstep of the police. They were not professional. I'm calling on the IGP to investigate this incident and come out with a report and let us, whoever is culpable in this incident should be punished in order to set the hearts of the families of the deceased at ease.
Should we set police station ablaze with provocations?
No, I condemn in no uncertain terms. I condemn it in its entirety that we should, not only the police station, every public building. And I emphasized this when I came out from the theater after inspecting the body of Ms. Bao. I told the youth that, look, this police station building, we grew up, I was born and bred in Ejura here. We grew up and came and made this building. Several police personnel have worked in this building and gone. Several police station personnel have worked in this building and gone. This crop of police personnel who are in Ejura here will go, and this building will still be here serving the purpose of policing in this community. And for that matter, this thing that they have done, they should have done it because the building does not belong to the police officers who they believe, whom they might have